Good morning, my friends. Today we are going over another mod showcase. Today we're going over Phayriosis Reborn. Today I am joined by Ranas himself and Monbox, the creator of this mod himself as well. We're going to be going over the Reborn version, which is basically a complete remake of the mod. Oh yeah, and be sure to check out their channels and their mods. Everything will be in the description. Obviously Faye will be in there, and both of their channels will be in the description, so make sure to check that out as well. Now, the first mob you're going to encounter in this mob is the Phayractor, the Phayractor, not sure how to pronounce it properly. This mob is your basic infector. It can leap, and it obviously gives the Phayriosis effect to the player and the mobs that it attacks. Next is the Converted Human. This is a infected version of the player and zombie and husk. It applies slowness, weakness, and rotting flesh. Rotting flesh is like a stronger version of poison, and you have a bleeding effect on your body, and the higher the effect is, the more damage you will take. Next is the Converted Drowned. This guy is an elite at swimming, and he gives Decomposing as an effect. Decomposing slowly kills you, and I believe it weakens armor. Next is the Converted Cow. This lumbering beast dies in a poison cloud and sometimes will spawn Phayractors upon its death. Watch out for this fella. Next is the Converted Chicken. Once the Converted Chicken is slain, it will lay an egg. If that egg is not destroyed, that egg will hatch into another Converted Chicken. Here we have the Converted Wandering Trader. This guy can turn invisible and will be invisible until he's hurt. He can also break some blocks like fences, torches, doors, weaker things like that. Converted Pig, a disgusting converted amalgamation of what used to be a cute little farm animal. This guy will apply hunger when he attacks. The Converted Wolf, this once predatory beast, now converted, can apply the Fractured and Rotting Blood and can one-shot skeletons. Fractured makes you slower. It's basically just a stronger slowness effect. The Converted Rabbit will destroy crops and hay, so make sure that he's far away from farms. He will destroy blocks, crops, anything that has to do with food like hay, melons, pumpkins, even your plants. The Converted Spider. This guy can jump great distances to get you. He can spawn converted webs once in a while when fighting, and also upon death he will drop webs around his body, and he does apply poison to the player and or mob he is attacking. The horse is a formidable infected, has a good amount of HP, has some pretty high damage, and can leap great distances to attack the player or mob it's after. Now the Converted Bear. It applies Fractured when attacking you, so, stronger slowness, and whenever it's killed it will drop Phayriosis spikes on the floor. These will hurt you and slow you down, so make sure you break these immediately once they are placed. Now the disgusting amalgamation, the Converted Camel. This guy will spawn unstable Fey Moss on death. It is a very slow, very murky thing on the floor. If you get caught into it, it's going to be extremely hard to get out of, so make sure you stay away from his dead body. The Enderman, he's a little bit more balanced compared to other infected Endermen from other mobs. He teleports to your last location from 3 seconds ago. So he's not going to teleport directly on you, he's going to teleport behind you in a way. The converted golem, once a protector of the innocent, now a deadly killer to the player and other mobs. This guy has insane damage, can launch you extremely fucking far, and he has some pretty good loot drops though, but definitely stay the hell away from this guy. Next is the Infestor. Obviously, it's infested with a bunch of Fey actors. Once it's dead, it will explode into a bunch of them and this little slowness goo on the floor. Gory Mass. This guy isn't too particularly unique, at least not of yet. He does have a crazy HP pool and he does some pretty good significant damage, so he's basically just a really strong enemy to watch out for. Same as the Infestor, the Carrier, basically just a flying variant, does the same thing as the other guy. It explodes into a bunch of little damn parasites. Now the Patroller, one of my favorite mobs of this mod. It is extremely fast, it can break a pretty good amount of blocks, and it leaves you with a marked effect, so stay the hell away from this guy. I love his design, I love the claws sticking out, I love like the smooth head, it gives Xenomorph vibes, and I fucking love his design actually. This is the Nest Warden. He can dig to you, he burrows to you, he has pretty high knockback to the player, and he also gives Fractured and Marked. The Marked effect makes all parasites within range target you, whether you're through blocks, anything like that, they all target you. So basically, he's marking you for death. Here we have the Primordial Spitter. This guy will spit puddles of acid on the floor that give decomp and deal 5 damage, and they're pretty deadly as well. They fly around, they attack you, they spit at you, they spit globs of shit. Just shoot these guys out of the sky the moment you fucking see them. Next on the list is the Scent Spewer. This guy will, he spawns low-level converted mobs, you know, sometimes Fey actors, and he also gives you the marked effect. And I believe the things that he spawns are actually a bit stronger as well. So definitely take this guy out when you see him. Next is the Nest Beacon. This guy can spawn 2 Fey actors at a time. He gives the Plagued if he's hurt, and he will throw you around. Before I forget, the Plagued effect allows parasites to do 1 true damage. So whether you have armor, whether you have all these things, once you have this effect, they can do damage like fucking crazy. Next is the Bull. While he's not necessarily, you know, a crazy nuisance to begin with, you should kill them immediately once you see them, because they add points consistently to the infection. They will give off these particles with these special sounds to say it. Kill them immediately. Once they die, they do spawn goo all over the floor that slows you down. This spinning maw of teeth is the Nest Network. He gives the infested effect. This effect summons these things called entanglers, and they basically trap you in place until you kill them, so they're a pretty big nuisance. Lastly, we have the Nucleus. This is the infection block starter. He gives hunger. He comes from a hive beacon on stage 4, and he starts the infection. When he's killed, he will explode, giving you a ton of different crazy effects. So make sure you kill this guy immediately. He does start the infection, and this happens at phase 4. For this section, I'm going to be showing off all of the blocks that are in the mod, and there's a ton. Firstly, this is all the meteorite blocks. These come from a structure, obviously a meteorite that lands. You get these. All kinds of nice variants. You got tiles, bricks, even some chiseled ones. Really nice. And a pillar one. Over here is the basic floor of the infection. This is, what is it, Phayrium, I think. Phayriosis, sorry. This is all the different variants of it. Here's a bunch of little things that will grow in the infection as well. A bunch of just nice little plants. I don't believe these ones give effects, but some of them do. This one is the tough Phayriosis. I think this is the stone variant. I might be wrong though, so don't quote me on that. Here's the other blocks of it as well. This is the Phayriosis mound. This does spawn things, so I did have to turn it off, or actually I didn't. My buddies did. These things are all dropped from mobs when they die. Pretty much all of these all spawn stuff. These will spawn creatures. This one will spawn bulbuses. This networking node will spawn network. This one will spawn primordial mobs. And here's all kinds of the gore in the mod. We got the bigger gore, smaller gore, some dead nodes that won't work. This does give you the poison effect if you step on it. We got these big ass teeth. We got some other things. These will, I don't know what this one is. It can hatch, so it will hatch into a scent spear, I believe, if you do not break these. So these are all things you need to break. If you see these in your world, either in caves or anything, break all of them immediately. These are just things dropped. Here's the webs, the teeth, the egg, the puddle, and the little slowing thing. As you can see, very slow in it. As you can see, I will get this one, yeah, decomposition. This one, just the webs. That's the egg. This is found in some of the structures as well, as you can see, you know, decomposing. This, I believe, Pharyum is the stone variant. I think. I could be wrong. I might be wrong. We got polished. We got all kinds of things. We got buttons, pressure plates, walls, bricks, and then there's obviously the mound versions. This version, I think, gives that stuff if you break it, so watch out. This is burrowed. I think that drops parasites when you break it, and oozing, I'm not sure. There's the tough version of Pharyum. It doesn't have too much to it. These you can find. These actually give you crimson scales, which are very useful. We'll get into that in a minute. This is like the sand version of the infection. Obviously, there's the burrowed, the mossy, the spawning version, everything. This is the slowing one. The camel spawns. And I believe this is like Phayriosis, I don't know. Here's the glass that can spawn as well. Here's these are all blocks that like are helpful for storage. So whenever you kill a bunch of parasites and you have a ton of blocks or a ton of items, turn these into the blocks for storage. That's all these. Here's the first wood set. This is just the converted logs, so you have the entire wood set. I love the color. It goes well with the Phayriosis theme, the maroon kind of like purplish red color. There's all kinds of things to it. As you can see, buttons, trapdoors. Here's the leaves. This one is the artery stem. I called it artillery for some reason on accident. I love the red. It looks really, really bright, but it does look nice. There's obviously all the other parts of it as well. Here's a door. Here's trapdoor. Here's the leaves. This one is thorn weeds. These will spawn. There's some here actually, so you can see those giant thorn weeds. You can break them. You can make. This is my favorite block in the mod. I don't know why. Just the grayish red mixed with it. It just looks really nice. I really like it. And then the door, trapdoor, and here's a thorn weed. Here we will get into the tech side of it and the tech blocks. So I think we start over here. These are just a bunch of storage things, just like the other things. You get a bunch of items, you make these little storage blocks to store them. This is plasma slate. I believe this spawns in the world naturally. This is the diamond enriched. I believe you get diamonds from that. Rich plasma. You need this, and you can make building blocks out of it as well. It looks pretty nice too. I like it's like grayish. Sort of looks like those blocks from the Twilight Forest. It looks really nice. I like it. Here's a block of gore gem. Not too sure on its use. I think it's just for storage as well. And then you have biometal. This is kind of important and a very rare thing. The toughness is insane. I think it's tougher than obsidian, or even tougher. Maybe as tough or tougher, but obviously a bunch of nice blocks for the biometal. There's even graded and things like that. This is another ore that you can find in the nether, and here's the block of it. And here's rubber. I believe this has really, really crazy strength to it, or toughness. You know what I mean. Over here is more of the plasma stuff. And there's the blocks of it. And there's scrap metal, which I don't know if it has a use yet, probably in crafting. Here's the dravarium, which is a very big thing in the mod. And yeah, there's a ton of these blocks, and they look really, really nice. I like this little nuclear symbol on this one too. Now, getting on to the last part of the mod, which is the drops and items. This is a kind of a big part, so make sure you pay attention because this is your key to surviving this mod. Here's the Phayrectors. I think that's how you say it, Phayrector. They drop these things. They're all used in crafting. Please, for the love of Minecraft, use JI. You are going to need it terribly. These are all dropped from converted mobs, so obviously the bone is very important, so make sure you stock up on these. I'm not going to go into crazy detail on this because, you know, you can play the mod, use JI, find out, but you need all of this for crafting, everything you find. Here's like the slightly above converted mobs. They only have like a few drops. These, I think these like are from like the bears and stuff. So you got those. Then you got, here's like the primal parasites. Since there's not too many, I think this is dropped from patrollers and this is a drop from the spitters. And other drops, for some reason, you can milk the converted cow and get some pestilent cheese. Yeah, of course it ruined you, but I mean, hey, if you're hungry, bro, go for it. Biome items, I'm not crazy. Oh, these are a fruit you can find dangling like on the ceilings and stuff in the parasite. It's pretty gross. Here's a ton of food. There's a scarlet fruit, cooked meat, a cooked scent cap, cooked eggs from the chickens. Here's cooked converted flesh. So you can actually get a lot of good food from it as well. Well, not good food, but food. Here's a very important thing. Make sure you pay attention. Crimson scale. This is something you're going to need. This is your lifeline in the mod. So here's a crimson scale fragment. As you can see, like I told you, you get the bones. These are dropped from converted humans and things like that. That's how you get this really good armor set. There is a saber. There is a halberd, and this is all, as you can see, better combat capabilities. So really good for that. There's a battle axe, or I think this is a normal axe. There's a pickaxe. And there's the hoe and even a shovel and the armor set, which is really nice. I'm going to put it on to show you what it does. So when I wear this, I have crazy speed. And it doesn't show what I have. I believe you have speed and I think like resistance. I'm not sure. But it's a very good armor set. As you can see, it gives speed, and it's really strong too. The armor rating is, as you can see, 2, 7, 4, 6. And it says right here, full set, 50 plus speed. This is all stuff crafting gems. These are all used for crafting other things. Like I said, please just use JI, because look at this. I can't go over every single recipe. There is a lot. Either ways, very beautiful designs. Biometal, this is kind of important in the mod as well. You're going to use a lot of copper and a lot of meat from the mod for these. I will tell you that. So it's a good use for copper because copper is pretty much fucking useless, let's be honest. Basic tech stuff. I'm honestly not going to get into this because a lot of the stuff isn't completely finished. So as you can see, there's tech stuff you're going to be building with this. I'm not going to show this off just yet. Not until it has full capabilities. Because as you can see, if I click U, there's no use for this stuff yet. It's still being made. Now, Dravarium, and this stuff is radioactive flammable. This stuff is found in the nether. This stuff is very expensive. As you can see, this is where you use the refined gems. And you get this. This is crafted from a bunch of stuff. So, scrap metal is used for something. Look, netherite, biometal, all kinds of stuff. You get 4 of it. Use that for Dravarium. You use that for Dravarium nuggets. And use that to make your ingots. And then, sooner or later in the future, we will have Dravarium gear, which is going to be crazy strong. There's oil and rubber. This is mined out of the ground. There's a oil block that you can get that from, and that's how you can make those rubber blocks I showed before. Here is the plasma that you can mine as well, like I showed down there. This stuff is not really used for much yet, just this block. I think it has, it can still be infected, but it is basically indestructible, so it is really good to have for your base. And up here, here's the biometal tools. There's a biometal greatsword. There's a biometal sword. And these, I think these self-repair. Self-repairing entities reach block reach. Yeah, they self-repair, so they can never break, I don't think. And then here's these flasks. These things are a bit complicated, and they're not completely finished yet, so I'm not going to get too into it. But there are cells and tanks of all these, so if you see these cells and these flasks, all of these have their own flasks and tanks. And as you can see, you use them for all this stuff. You use it for things like this, some of these gems, some of this stuff. A lot of the stuff isn't going to be used yet, as I said. But all these beautiful little flasks out here. There is one, I think it's this one, Flask of Experience. You can make it with, look at that, boom. And you can make it right here as well by taking one of these cells, which you make by making this, and you know, JEI, remember, please. You drink this, gives you a ton of levels. It's really nice to stack up on levels. And you can make this. This is really cool. I'm going to get a few of them to show it off. Well, I can't, sorry. So basically you make this with Flask of Lapis Lazulis and some other things like that. And when you use it, you get an extremely strong enchantment book. So power, fortune, it tells you which ones it can give you. So obviously if you want to look at it. I'm not going to sit here and read them off all of them, but they are like the best enchantments you get in the game. So it's really nice. Look, I got efficiency, power, fortune, so that's really good to make. And the last thing I'm going to show is this little device here. It is crafted. It's pretty complicated. You need biometal, all kinds of stuff. Like I said, please use JI, because to show you all of this stuff is going to take forever. Just know you need stuff in the game. You need to collect things. I'm going to take my plasma, my refined plasma, so make sure you refine it with a refinery gem, which is crafted like so. And you're going to take it in here. You're going to put your fuel here, and you're going to put your raw ore. I think it's any ore, but I think redstone is pretty well. And so you put it in here. It's going to use this as fuel, and it's going to slowly kind of just refine this ore into something more usable. Good to make. And the last thing I'm going to show is this little device here. It is crafted. It's pretty complicated. You need biometal, all kinds of stuff. Like I said, please use JI, because to show you all of this stuff is going to take forever. Just know you need stuff in the game. You need to collect things. I'm going to take my plasma, my refined plasma, so make sure you refine it with a refinery gem, which is crafted like so.